now that we're all here, a couple of things. You see, we have these 4 talented people up on stage. Now, we all know each other and do a lot of shows together, so there are 2 options you have presented to you right now. Number 1, we are all going to start having a conversation about where we think are the places we want to have dinner in Chicago while we're here, or...
Let's do that. That's a good idea.
Okay. Wait, let me give the other...
What were you going to say?
Or let me give them the other option, too. Option 2 is we're going to do that, or there's a microphone right there. And you can line up and ask questions about a slightly longer than average running pirate anime. So as we get started, we'll start... Just a little bit. We'll start with Ian to my right. Ian, for the parents, well actually, I can't make that joke here, because let's face it, I normally do for the parents in the audience, explain, but let's face it, the parents are the ones that started watching first.
Correct.
So for the friends of the friends that got dragged here and have no idea what's going on, because they have a friend going, it's only 1,000 episodes, please introduce yourself to everybody and tell them a little bit about yourself.
I'm Ian Sinclair, I play Brooke in One Piece. Is that good? What else? What else you want?
Yeah,
no, that's good.
I like that.
Right.
Lucy?
Hi, I'm Lucy Christian. I get to play Nami in One Piece. I love to get to, because it's so right. I'm Colleen Klinkenbeard, and I get to play Luffy in One Piece.
Hi, I am Christopher Sabat. I bless the role of Luffy's right-hand man, Zoro.
I do like that you're on the right hand. That's nice. That's a good touch. It's a good touch.
Excellent. All right, if you can do me a favor, we have a long line and a short time. Please keep this limited to 2 things. Number 1, 1 question only. And then number 2, please don't ask for quotes or things like that. You can do that when you see them at their table, please. So we'll start with you. What's the first question?
This is a question for Lucy and Chris Sabat. Okay, sure. I really love both of your work in Sergeant Frog. I'm just so pissed it hasn't gotten a chance to be brought back. What was it like recording for Sergeant Frog?
So your very first question in your One Piece panel is, how amazing is Sergeant Frog? And why is there no more Sergeant Frog, and how great was it working on it?
It's a great show. I would love more of that. That Sergeant Frog is super fun. I've been in different iterations of Sergeant Frog, too.
Yeah, I miss Sergeant Frog a lot. I tried to introduce it to my daughters, and then I realized, oh, this is not appropriate. And another thing I miss about it is the guy who directed Sergeant Frog, his name is Joel McDonald, and I miss him. He started to work at Gearbox, and so we don't see him as much at Funimation anymore, or Crunchyroll now, but I miss him a lot.
Great question.
Good question.
Excellent.
Hello. My main question is mainly for Chris, but you guys are all welcome to answer. So Chris, what is your favorite Zoro line that's an insult to Sanji?
Gosh, how did I know you were going to ask me that?
Yeah, it's like we talked earlier.
Oh yeah, we did talk earlier. Shut it, curly brows. You know, I wish I had, he told me he was going to ask earlier, and I forgot until just this moment. I'm like, oh no, I was supposed to remember a quote, and I have no memory for anything at all, sorry.
Had he remembered, he'd have been out there frantically Googling.
Come on, come on, come on. Thank you.
Good question.
Sanji sucks.
Hi.
Hi.
So, I got to meet all of you yesterday. You're all really great people, and I wanted to try and ask a meaningful question. So, if Wikipedia is to be believed, you all have like 20 years of experience in the voice acting community. So, I wanted to ask, how did it feel to meet each other for the first time, and 20 years later?
Don't.
Well, no, hold on. How many years ago? 20 years ago?
A long time.
Raise your hand if you're under the age of 20 in the audience right now. We love you guys.
Y'all are so sweet.
How did it feel?
Well, I will say that when I first met Chris Sabat, it was at, I think it was at Otakon.
It was.
A million years ago. And what I remember was, I think I met him in the green room, and he opened his mouth and his voice fell out of his body. And I think I was like, you don't expect it. But that is what I remember about meeting him first.
And I remember inviting myself on her vacation right afterwards too. Like, where are you going? That sounds fun. I'll see you there.
That happened. I don't remember. Do you remember me?
I don't remember.
It's
when
gotta
we
be a
met.
Funimation.
Yeah, for sure. It was at the old bank building.
Yeah, Frost Bank Building.
And it was like, you weren't too far behind Monica in coming from ADV, right?
Right.
So I feel like we were all kind of, it was fun to be gathering veterans who had been doing it longer than us from a different place. So meeting you and Monica was really cool.
That was an amazing time in
Yeah.
Funimation voice acting history where there were people who were becoming really good at dubbing in Dallas, clearly. But it was like we unearthed this treasure box of new materials to build things with. Like all of a sudden, like, oh my gosh, who are these people? We have new high voices, we have new low voices, we've
Does your
got
voice
everything.
really sound like that?
Yeah.
Oh.
And it was funny, they were only 4 hours away. Like they were on an island 4 hours away from us, and it was amazing.
It was the first thing I did, because I did Kitty Grade with Monica, and we were playing against each other. So she was one of the first people that I became friends with, actually. You didn't ask about Monica.
What was it like recording Kitty Grade 18 times? So people wouldn't understand this, but right now in the current state of dubbing, we're under really intense deadlines. We have to record a lot. She knows because she's responsible for making sure they get done. But back in the day, Justin Cook, who's now the head of dubbing and production, he's an amazing dude. He was such a perfectionist that he would record actors again and again and again on shows. I think he probably recorded the entirety of Kitty Grade at least twice, 2 or 3 times. Same thing with Fruits Basket. And luckily at that time, Funimation never decided to look at their timesheets because it was intense.
It is different now. And I learned from him. I mean, I became a director on Kitty Grade, so I learned from him. So I kind of ended up doing that a little bit too, probably. I met Chris Sabat at Rainforest Cafe.
Yeah. Which I knew she worked at.
I was best
She's
friend-
only telling you because I was.
I'm telling you so you won't tell it. I was best friends with Laura Bailey, and she was friends with Chris. And I'd heard of Chris, clearly. I'd heard all of the stories about Chris.
Were you roommates at that time?
I think we were roommates.
You were.
And so we were working on the same things. And Chris was hearing about me from Laura, and I was hearing about him from Laura, but we hadn't ever met. And then they ambushed me and came to Rainforest Cafe, where I'm in full safari gear, and I have to give the full spiel about when the rainstorm goes off every 22 minutes.
It was wonderful.
It was humiliating. And then he brought it up every time I saw him for the next 10 years.
Yep. Wow, this was a great question, by the way.
So good. Ian, do you remember meeting everybody?
Oh, I thought we were just answering when we met Chris at this point. I was on a tour with my buddy, and Chris kind of started my career. I don't like to give him credit, but I'm in there, I'm on a tour, and he goes, "Wait, so you're an actor?" You go, "Uh-huh." You want to say a line? Uh-huh. He did not pay me for that session. He just got a free bit part off of some random kid. Put jokes on him, because 6 episodes later, he had to go, "Wait, Dave, who's your buddy?" Okay, and then I got a contract. So technically, you would be absolutely, I think, the first one out of any of them. I don't, I think maybe Butler, probably before. No, there was Legend of the Legendary Heroes.
Legend of the Legendary Legends.
I don't remember.
Josh? Was it Josh Greeley?
Before that, I was living with Jonathan Brooks first.
Yes.
Who was Foxy.
Sorry guys, we're all reminiscing.
Sorry, we could do this for hours. I
Great
even have
answer.
another.
One Piece.
So One Piece. Great question.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're so sweet.
Thank you.
Hi there.
Hi. So for doing this for 20 years is crazy, but out of every moment, what made you cry the most while recording?
The Mary. Yeah, that one broke my heart. I didn't even know it was gonna break my heart. And then they like made it a character, and then all of a sudden I was like, well, now I love it so much.
My backstory.
Yeah, I feel like Arlong Park is an easy answer, but most recently, the captain made me cry in Whole Cake Island when he's yelling at Sanji he's not gonna eat. God. Right? I mean, she lost her voice, I'm sure, after that.
Yeah, that was hard.
I cried when Sanji lost, and it was tears of joy. Is that okay? King of the Pirates scene kind of got to me. Like he's cried. Like I hadn't seen Zoro cry that much in the show. Like whenever you see the tough guy character you play cry, it kind of makes you want to cry too. So that just happened.
My question actually has to do with that, so I don't know. So yeah, was there a scene that was really hard for you to record, whether that's technical, like for Colleen, did one hurt your throat, or like a personal one, or one that was so funny that you guys couldn't stop like laughing in the booth? Also, my name's Britannia, by the way. Thank you so much for your hard work. You guys are amazing people.
Difficult. What is a difficult moment?
I mean, for sure for me, Sanji, like the yelling after Sanji stuff was the most vocally strenuous. I screamed a lot before, but that is a very sustained, loud voice saying actual words for a long period of time, so it's like right in the same spot in your throat. So yeah, that physically was the hardest.
Learning to laugh. It's real hard. Shiro does it really, really well, and I'm like, well, I need to do it exactly like him. Just took a long time.
It's not because I don't think there's parts that were hard, it's just I have a really bad memory, so for the life of me, I always joke that I've got it easier than any of the other, like, crewmates. Zoro just gets to chill, he does something cool with the swords, takes a nap, drinks a beer, and then you repeat gets mad at Sanji and then repeats the process. Like,
Still one of the favorite characters, it's not fair.
I get to walk in and I see Eric come out of one of his sessions and he's like exhausted because he's been screaming. Then poor Sunny with Usopp is like, that's just over the top all the time. And I remember when like Colleen busted out this Luffy voice, and none of us had ever heard Colleen even do a kid voice before, which was pretty insane.
I thought that was funny because we started with the video game before we ever did any of the dubbing of the show. Was the video game, right?
Yeah.
And that was recording at your studio, and I remember coming in and doing the voice, and I had this feeling from you of like, all right.
It was more of like,
you say you're Luffy.
Where's this coming from? In retrospect, I don't know if many of you know this, but like there was another Funimation dub of One Piece. I'm not talking about the 4Kids dub, but there was a kind of a temporary pass of One Piece that was done prior to the video game being done, and it was long before, I think it was before you were with Funimation at that time, but it was before 4Kids got it, and I think Funimation was told to do like a test dub, like, hey, try it out.
I've never heard this.
And so I didn't end up recording. I think Mike McFarlane directed it, and Eric Vale, who's plays Sanji, was Luffy, which is a weird flex. I was Helmeppo. A guy named Andy Chandler, he's the voice of Cooler in Dragon Ball. He was Zoro, and it was towards the beginning of the show, but it was only this test thing that we did, and then I think after that, Funimation said, we can't put a show on television that has like people shooting at children, so you can have it for kids. Good luck. That's a bit of insider information, I guess, that I only had, so you're welcome. But I think it's amazing you pulled out that voice when you did, because you were always getting cast as like, we knew your deep voice lady, we knew your high-pitched cute girl, but we had never heard the crazy like boy voice. That was insane.
I had only done the boy voice for Illumitoon Studios. I did Beat the Vandalbuster. It was like this little show that came out for just a little bit. And that was the first boy, like real boy voice I did. And I guess Mike found out that I had done that. I don't know if he'd even heard it. And that's why he asked me to audition for Luffy when I came in, because I came in auditioning for Nami and Robin. That was who I thought I was auditioning for. And then when he asked for Luffy, I was like, okay, let me go read it. Very nervous.
And the rest is history.
No, thank you so much. And again, thank you so much for your hard work on One Piece.
Great question, thank you.
Hi. Besides your own characters, who's your favorite member of the Straw Hats?
Luffy.
Luffy. I like Chopper.
I think Chopper's super cute. Sorry, I love Chopper. It's such a great character. I
I'd
love
like to pick somebody else.
I have a soft spot for Sanji.
I'm gonna say Brooke. Don't let it go to your head.
It's like that?
He's gonna talk about that all
No,
weekend.
I'm not. No, I'm not. For me, actually, I mean, Luffy has really become mine. It was Usopp for a really long time because I do believe that he is the bravest member of the crew. He is the bravest member of the crew. Nami is not nearly as afraid of everything as Usopp is. Like, Zoro is ready for a fight. You are ready for a fight. Everybody else is like,
but he's still ready to fight.
but Usopp is literally peeing in his pants and going, yep, I'm still gonna do it. There's 100,000 men behind me. Like, that's bravery. Like, Zoro's just like, hey, let's go.
I like that.
Good
Thank
question.
you.
Thank you.
Good question.
Nice hat.
Thank you. So I do have one question for all of you. Considering that you've been voicing for One Piece for a while, what was your favorite arc for
Favorite
voicing?
arc?
For ourselves or as like a fan?
For yourselves.
Okay, I'd like to act in. All right. Whole cake.
So I selfishly say Arlong Park because we did it out of order. We started the show recording in Skypiea because that's where the 4Kids dub had left off. So we were in the 100s, running from studio to studio going, how are you saying this island name? Because we were just trying to catch up and do that. So we didn't go back to the beginning and sort of put everything together until a year or two later. And I mean, once I saw the Arlong arc, I went, oh, that's when they become family. Oh, I get it, and I certainly get Nami. But also, I love Thriller Bark too. Like we meet Brooke there, and it's fun. I like a lot of them.
I started, the Oars stuff. Thriller Bark was my favorite for a long time. I like creepy stuff. I loved Oars. It was just so much fun. So it was my favorite for a long time, and then Whole Cake happened, and that became my favorite. And then Wano happened.
It's so fun.
The Onigashima part of Wano is like a movie every stinking episode, and it's so beautiful, and I love it so much. And plus, there are all these moments in it that I keep like getting chills and being like, oh my God, I love it so much. That's why new prints appear on my table.
I've actually had to start saying, besides Wano, what is your favorite arc?
Right,
Because it's always like, Wano, bro. Like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, my answer literally was exactly the same as yours. It used to be Thriller Bark, and then it became Wano when all of a sudden they took the show and just did this with it. That first moment of the Wano arc with Zoro coming in and all the cherry blossoms.
water change.
Oh my gosh, so cool. If you guys haven't gotten there, you're in for a treat when you get there because it's
So
freaking
fun.
amazing.
And every character has their thing, and it's all so good.
I like that I did like that we got to play zombie versions of ourselves in Thriller Bark, of each other.
Please somebody cosplay as Oars. I know it would be hard, but I've never seen one.
You heard it. Do it.
Come on, Internet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's Cameron. Just like everyone here, we all love you guys. Like, you've been doing this for a long time. Please don't stop. If this is okay to ask, it's more specifically for Colleen, but all of you can answer. Last week, Gear 5 came out on television.
Wait, Gear what?
If you haven't, it's more so. My question is, if you guys have seen it by now, like, what do you think? And specifically, Colleen, are you excited to do Gear 5 Luffy?
I mean, you can't have not seen it unless you are not on the interwebs. But I will say that I am not watching the episode and the next episode that's going to come up. I'm not going to watch those until we're about to record. Me and the directors have already talked about it, and we're gonna sit down and we're gonna watch it and we're gonna dissect it and love it and like get energized from it right before I record, so that that energy is going into the recording. And I am so nervous. I don't get nervous. I don't get nervous. And I am real nervous about that. Because expectations are like up here, and everybody's gonna have their opinion of how it should sound. And by the way, those are not the same opinion across the board. So there's no way I can please everybody, and I'm so terrified of it. But I've been waiting for it forever. I've been spoiled on it forever, and so I've had a long time to really look forward to it and just get super, super stoked. I want it to be so excited. I want it to be good.
It's gonna be so good.
You've got this. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Hello. This question is for everyone. Out of all of the characters that you have played in your career, is there a quote from any of those characters that has really stuck to you?
So similar to Chris, have a really bad memory. But the things that stick with you are sometimes befuddling, because there's a show I did a long time ago. It's not a big show. It's called Magical Shopping Arcade Abanabashi. Thank you. That's great. But I play a little boy in the show, and there's a little colorful language, just a tiny bit. But the little boy Sashi goes to the edge of the world he is in, and he has to go to the bathroom, and he is dropping trow, and there's liquid, and the line is, "Oh man, there's just something so sci-fi about pissing off into space." And I'm gonna remember that on my deathbed, because it won't leave. Like, it's just there.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Fan Expo.
Man,
You're welcome. If they've watched One Piece, they've heard language like that, so. I typically pick the funny one too, because that is what sticks in your head forever. But I'm gonna say, for Luffy, my favorite Luffy quote is, I'm not gonna do the voice, I wanna do the voice for you, but I can't, because right now I'm losing it, and if my voice is gone, then that would be bad for Luffy next week. If you don't take risks, you can't create a future. That's my all-time favorite Luffy quote, because it is, accurate, and I'm learning it late in life.
It's all about the booty, baby.
It would probably be, what was it? Darn, I just had a good one. It would be, I'm sure like any minute now, Goku and Vegeta are gonna be coming into it, invite me into the tournament, right?
I love that moment.
Poor Yamcha.
He's like, oh, is that them?
No, poor Yamcha. I saw a funny video online where somebody had a picture of Yamcha behind them, and she was like, man, y'all making fun of me because I got this picture of Yamcha behind me, but I like to keep this picture of Yamcha behind me, because when I'm having a bad day, I just look at that picture, I know it's always better than Yamcha's day.
Thank you.
Great question.
Hello.
So my question is, how did you guys develop the voice for your characters?
That's a real good question. I remember I read for Nami, and I read for Luffy. And Mike McFarland, what they do generally is you look at a picture and there are some good adjectives that you take and you kind of give it your best shot, and then the director goes, can you make her sound a little younger, or this and that? And I felt a lot more confident about Nami. But that's kind of how it happened. We just sort of hit on something, and it's kind of collaborative like that. It's kind of about being free enough to be able to take all those nice adjectives and just give something a try, and then the director really helps you find something that works. That's how I found Nami.
There's somebody who's already done it in Japanese, and we get to hear them and go, oh, kind of like this. Brooke, we went in, I did my audition, and he said, I like what you did. There was something that I felt it missed. I feel it needs a kind of a breathy quality because he doesn't have skin. And so He's just eye sockets and teeth? So I do that? And the voice just kind of happens.
Why do you sound like the Humpty Hump for some reason?
I'm doing a Humpty Hump.
I really love that story. Like, I've heard you tell that before, and I love the idea of you, like, it's just air escaping. There's nothing to
And I take all of my direction in character, so I'm like, huh? Oh, okay. Oh, that's bad. Who's that? Yeah.
My voice is straight stolen from Laura Bailey. She taught me how to do anything to do with dubbing, and when she first, like, she was trying to help me get into the idea of using my voice in different ways, because I was not a voice actor, and I did not grow up with the, like, I tried to be every character on the cartoon. I was not that, and so she asked what I would do if I had a little cartoon cat, and the voice that came out of me was Meatwad. And then she was like, hey. So she had to really go through and, like, show me, yes. She had to go through and show me how to do those cartoon voices that people know and love. And so I learned doing a boy voice from her kid Trunks. And then I think that is what I took into Beat. And then with Luffy, I did that, and then when it came back from the Japanese licensor, they had some notes for everybody, like how to change it just a little bit, and mine they wanted to be a little gruffer. So I was doing kind of a more natural boy voice, and they pushed it gruffer to be more Luffy-esque, and so that was where we landed.
I remember walking in and saying, I want to do that, and then they said, sure. I literally for the life of me cannot remember what happened to be, how I ended up getting cast. I think it might
sound like that?
Yeah, because it sounded like this. And they were like, hey, who's that only guy in the building who has a deep voice? Let's use that guy.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh God, I can't believe I'm here.
You're here.
So Colleen, your last name got me thinking. Clinkenbeard is such a cool pirate name that it really made me wonder, what would your guys' pirate name be if you were in the world of One Piece? And if you were a pirate, where would you be from?
Like which One Piece island would
Yes,
we be
like
from?
which location would you have been from?
I'm embarrassed to say that I don't know any of the locations, because neither does Zoro. I'm serious. I've never had to say it. Where am I?
I think maybe Skypiea, because it has all of that history, and like there's a lot of background and lore to it, and I just think that's all fascinating. It's not my favorite arc, but it is maybe the coolest location. So I'm gonna say Skypiea, but why would I change my name? I'm a pirate.
Exactly.
Clinkenbeard.
Perfect.
And I would have a beard.
Of course you would. Like, I don't know, this is hard. This is a test.
I would be Captain Wolfgang Fist. You're welcome. From nowhere.
Oh no, could we be a pirate?
I think you would be from Whole Cake.
I would, man, that sounds great. I'll be a sweets pirate. It'll be like a Honey Senpai crossover. Like, Honey Senpai pirate. Oh my gosh, that is the cutest pirate.
Lollybell.
From Whole Cake. I love that. Or I'm a tangerine eating, scurvy avoiding pirate from Kokoyashi Village.
I don't know why my brain needs it to be incorporated with Brooke. I know I don't have to for this answer, but so it'd be like Captain Bone Daddy. From Musician Island, which is next to Sniper Island, and where is Sniper Island?
In our hearts.
That's right. It's in your heart.
Who was
is too good right
Cute.
now.
I was the fourth. I got a minute. I was like, all right, let's be clever.
There needs to be like a technology island for Chris. He doesn't fit in.
I thought that's where we were going next.
Yeah. Can we go to Library Island next?
Spoiler alert.
I mean, I do think that's where we're
it's gonna be
going next. I think that's where we're going.
Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, I think it's real technical.
I'm very excited. I mean, the only reason I know that is because someone told me that, and it made me very happy because I like technology stuff.
Yeah.
That's where I'd be from.
Thank you.
Great question. Thank you.
Hi. So my question is, how do you feel about the impact that One Piece and just your characters in general has had for like generations of people and just people in general?
Lucy and I talk about this all the time. Actually, Ian and Lucy and I talk about this all the time. You're lost.
We never talk about
He's lost. Yeah, I mean, yes, that, it is, it does. It has been and continues to be so meaningful to so many people, and it is generational, and we see people come up who, like, the entire family watches One Piece, and they can't wait to watch it with their little child named Luffy, and like, it is so amazing to be a part of something like that, and to be a part of it in a day and age where social media lets us feel like a part of it is really incredible, because as amazing of a juggernaut as Dragon Ball Z was, they were doing that on a time lag where they would record it and then like 3 years later they would find out how people feel about it, and we get to find out the day it comes out. And it's really, if I was a tattoo person, I would have one. Like, I'm all in.
So how many of you have been following One Piece for years and years and years? Right? So, isn't it an awesome time to be a One Piece fan? It's like a whole bunch of people are like, oh, I want in now. And how great! Like, yes, Anthony, our director, the other day was talking about Gear 5 and saying, have you seen all of this chatter online about opinions about Gear 5? How do you feel about that? And we agreed that people are arguing about One Piece on the internet, and how awesome is it? It's so great. Like, we get to be here for it, you know?
And that's why, like, when you say get there, like, get to be, like, we're all up here like, yeah, heck yeah. Because we do feel very blessed. And the three of us are doing a rewatch, and we're all at different parts. And so, there is nothing cooler than being into a show. I got to do this with Dragon Ball, I get to do this with One Piece. When you're like a fan of it and get to be a part of it, we all have this weird, deep, extra reverence for it because it's peak fiction. There's nothing like it. There's nothing that's like this. And then at some point, the more and more you get into it, like, I'll be in there and I get to talk to Luffy. Not her, I get to talk to Luffy. And say, like, Luffy will be like, hey bro, what do you want to do? I'm like, something. And he'll be like, okay. And he replied to me, and I'm like, hell yeah. And I'll go back to my house and read the manga. Read the manga if you can, it's so good. It is so good.
I usually tell people to do that when they are intimidated to catch up with the show. I'll say, like, read the manga, get to a fight, watch the fight, and then read the manga some more, get past the
That's what I've been doing.
Watch the fights. That's how you recommend it to your friends.
Yeah, read an arc, watch an arc, read an arc. And if you're gonna read, the Shonen Jump app is a legal way to go and do that, and it's like $3 a month. You could read all of One Piece in like $18. Like, it's a good place to do it.
It was interesting. One Piece was like off at sea for a long time though.
Yes.
We've been working on the ship for like 15 something years, 16 years now. And but there was a time pre-pandemic where I don't think I had a conversation about One Piece with a soul.
No.
Nobody. No one would talk to me about. I mean, I didn't even like. There was times I wouldn't even bring prints to the show because like no one was going to ask for one. And then suddenly, you know, a global pandemic brought us all together. Finally gave people enough time to watch One Piece, and then here we are.
So yeah, she asked how many people have been into One Piece for a long time. How many of y'all got into this pandemic and later, since 2020? Check that out.
Look at it.
Like, and then, okay, that's within the last 3 years. So any of your friends that go, oh, it takes too long. No, it doesn't. Most of the people in here did it in under 3 years.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the next several years and what's to come. Because I feel like, and that's why I've been encouraging people to watch it, even if they're hesitant. And you should encourage your friends because, exactly, because I think over the next several years, there's just going to be this massive community that develops because, you know, We've heard that he's going into his, what might be his final arc.
Saga.
Yeah.
Final
Who knows?
saga.
Saga.
Sagas are longer
But who
than arcs.
knows? It could be another 10 years, but still, you don't want to be, I think it's going to be very exciting when it starts getting
That
close
gives
to
me
the
chills.
end.
Like I get chills thinking about it. I'm so excited.
And like, okay, so he said within like maybe like 5-6 years, but he keeps putting out stuff like it's not gonna be that soon. If you can catch up, just don't worry about going too fast, like don't worry about burning through it. But if you can be there when the One Piece drops, when they reveal that, it's gonna be one of the biggest moments in anime history. Period. Like what other piece of fiction has a 30 year at that point build up where the entire fan base is just sitting there like, oh my god, we're finally gonna find out the thing.
Yeah.
We're living in a pre-one, like, we're in the small part of history where like people don't know what it is. Like your grandkids will be like, oh yeah, we all know what the One Piece is. Enjoy that.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Like future fans will already be spoiled.
They'll know
on
it
that.
immediately.
Aww.
Yeah. So this is the best time to be a One Piece fan, to get to experience it together. It's incredible.
Aww.
Be there for that. It's gonna be dope.
Man.
We were talking about this at dinner last night, and I'm of the belief that it's just going to turn into some giant battle royale where every enemy they've ever fought is finally going to come back, and it's going to be insane.
Oda wants the peak to be the dopest part. He wants it to be the hypest, most insane part of the entire manga. So whatever you've seen.
I like Colleen's theory.
There's no voice left. I have nothing. Sorry.
But Colleen has a great theory that the One Piece is a ship.
I don't think it's true.
But it's a spaceship.
I know it's kind of silly.
You can use some space.
Space pirate. Because it's space. But I like the idea that it's that next frontier. Like we've already done this thing, and then like expanding that into what is next, and how much would Luffy love that is what is
The
next.
adventuring spirit continues.
Space
you know,
pirates.
It doesn't stop.
Thank you, I love you.
Yes.
I don't know what you asked.
Ladies and gentlemen, please make some noise for the cast of One Piece.